Beyond the Game versus Tempo Storm, Dragonshire. Um, this is Tempo Storm's map. Now, we say it's Tempo Storm's map because they have a really good record on it, but the reality is the top team in every region has a good record on Dragonshire. Every team has a good record on Dragonshire. Every top team has a good record on Dragonshire because there's a lot of decision making in Heroes of the Storm. And if you're a good team, you're good at making the right decisions over and over and over consistently. Dragonshire is a map that rewards good decision making and it rewards consistency. Therefore, better teams always have a good win rate on it. Top team in every region has a good win rate on Dragonshire. It's not a Tempo special. Tempo has done things on this map that other teams have not done, however. Consistently in terms of tactics, the way they time out bruisers is a little bit better. The way they get the triple camp going bottom, they know how long it takes to do, the rotation of their siege to bruisers to sending someone to the enemy siege, and they know how to cap them so that all of them line up for this concerted death push. They're very clean about it. They found out lots of little details and they execute them consistently. They know the timings for invades. And what kind of wave clear they need to make certain invades happen. There's sometimes you'll be watching Tempo Storm and they won't go for an invade, and you'll be like, why didn't they go for that invade? It's because they didn't have the right amount of wave clear to make it work without missing soak. They're very conscious of their timings. There's a lot of optimization at the early game. So Tempo is a very good Dragonshire team, even among, in my opinion, every top team that has a good win rate on Dragonshire, because every top team has a good win rate on Dragonshire. Beyond the Game, prioritizing the Diablo first pick, Tempo Storm immediately slapping back with the Uther Haka. If you've done any scouting on the NA meta at all, the immediate thought that comes to your mind is that's not Soul Sport Uther. That is either Tank Uther or some kind of weird double support, especially since they have the Global. Global enables Global makes up for having poor wave clear in some cases because it gives you better rotations, or gives you faster rotations in clutch moments. You don't need wave clear to rotate if you only need to rotate every minute and you have an instant wave clear, an instant ability to rotate, and then you waddle your way back. So Beyond the Game immediately locks in Raynor, Deckard. Neither of those help with this. Deckard arguably good in double support with Emerald, but Raynor sustained damage into double support. Not a lot of wave clear. Doesn't really do camps very well. Yeah. I don't look at this draft and be like, Beyond the Game has scouted out the NA meta at all. So we can see the Blaze and the Zul ban. And I have to eat my words a little bit here. They banned Zul. And Zul is certainly an NA meta thing. I managed to mute my mic before I sneezed. Anyway, moving along. Kerrigan, Greymane. Now, again, the way double support works, you need an engage mechanic. But you don't necessarily need a tank to have that engage mechanic. It's better to have some wave clear. So Kerrigan is the tank in this composition, essentially, because she's the initiator. And, Caterpillar's playing Uther. That's probably more of a hero pool issue. Fan is just better at Kerrigan than Cattle is. Cattle is probably better at Uther than Fan is. Just a matter of comfort. And then Beyond the Game picks up the Global to match the Dahaka. So they now have a stage dive offlane ETC. He loses the lane pre-7 and does not match the Global until 10, which means Tempo Storm, if they time out Bruisers with the Greymane that they just picked up, is going to be able to wreck top and get a significant tempo advantage, on the map. So overall, I feel like Tempo Storm won the draft. Beyond the Game is really dependent on their Junkrat. If Junkrat does not consistently clear waves and never, ever, ever, he has to never die. Junkrat has to never die. Every time Junkrat dies, Beyond the Game is going to immediately fall behind in wave clear, rotations, camps, and the objective. Now, if I see, Kerrigan, Greymane, Uther, Malfurion on the enemy team, I'm like, maybe my Junkrat's going to die from time to time. It's a possibility. But, I don't know. We'll see if BTG agrees. Nope. Funky. There we go. Name's right? Yeah, name's right. Okay, on the left-hand side, we have BTG, our contenders from China. LLK on Junkrat. Lokhtar on ETC. 365 on Deckard. Oops. Missed the name there. That's my bad. Dancing on Raynor. And 619 on Diablo. On the right-hand side, we have our contenders from the United States. June on Malfurion, Cattle on Uther, Fan on Kerrigan, Vin on Greymane, and Glaurung on the Dahaka. Move that arrow out of the way for you guys. Just stick it down there in the corner. The real question for me is, are they going to get the initial kill? Beautiful wall stun, actually. But the Kerrigan combo comes in for the counter initiation. BTG taking a ton of damage. No one's going to go down so far. Actually, surprised. Wow. I'm really surprised at this level 1 from Kerrigan. Kerrigan is their primary wave clear in the 4-man. Siphoning Impact does nothing to help you with your wave clear. Whereas Fury of the Swarm, even in its nerf state, does a huge amount to help you with wave clear. I'm very surprised to see that. I don't know if Tempo Storm has enough wave clear to keep up with the 1-3-1 that BTG apparently wants to run with the Junkrat. I kind of wish the Rainer was bottom instead of the Junkrat, so the Junkrat would clear mid faster. But I see they're doing... Oh, it looks like they're doing it to the Bruiser Camp. This is actually a really good decision by BTG because there's no way for them to counter a Bruiser Camp that is gotten by Tempo Storm other than by getting their own Bruiser Camp, and they have to do the junk up there. So this will give them some time, mitigate the impact. Diablo, meanwhile, can just catch mid. That helps him with the souls. Checking on the flank there, also going to help with the camp. Loktar just has to freeze the wave. He has to play this lane extremely passively until 7. The big thing you look for in this matchup as an ETC is just trying to get as many globes as you can. If you can get your globe and the enemy team's globe, even if your gate takes a little bit of damage, that's just a net win. Cattle on the bottom here, and this is what I'm talking about with Tempo. Tempo understands if you're getting your bruisers, well, that means we have time to get our bruisers, get bruisers bottom, and set up this giant push. Normally siege giants get a little bit of damage, but not too much. But this is going to get significantly more. And Fan departing to grab the mid soak there. So going to be a split map decision, but bottom lane in the end will be more valuable. This does mean Glowering is going to be extremely vulnerable to ganks going forward, especially if the fort goes down to this push. However, Tempo not only is in the more valuable lane and has a better push because they have siege giants and a bruiser camp, they have a Greymane, and Greymane's a little bit better at sieging buildings than a Rainer is. So we're going to see this get absolutely melted. Vin is going to town, and by town I mean this fort. Town has a wall around it to protect it, and Vin is the big bad wolf, and he's going to huff, and he's going to puff, and he's going to blow your wall down. Junkrat not quite able to get concussion mine off there. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean it's on cooldown. He will not be able to replace it. And again, Tempo, it's early game, but they're still doing it. They're doing this thing where they're getting these camps out on a particular cooldown when they have the push, and they're going to enable it further. This also denies it to BTG for any sort of potential depush, and this is going to be a quad, or at least briefly be a quad siege camp push, but siege camp gets knocked in. Good use of the concussion mine there, actually. This is one of the reasons that Junkrat is one of the best anti-siege heroes in the game. Tempo just hard committed to that, far harder than BGG expected them to. And that's one of the things that can trip you up going to these international events as a team. If you are not used to a particular playstyle, if you've never played against it, you don't expect people to be bottom as 4 maybe, and your decision making is like, oh, they won't push bottom as 4, they have to respond to top, or something like that. Your expectation clashes with the actual events that happen, and you end up being very slow to react correctly. That's looking at the way they were on the map. That's what happened to BGG in my mind, because they're professional players. They know Greymane Siege is harder. They just didn't respond in time. But they did manage to trade fort for fort, so they're not behind in experience, and they even have a small advantage right here on the map for the moment in the control. But Fan's going to be guarding mid. He has him up. If you're in behind him, looks like we're going to get caught here. Cattle does end up trying to 3v1, which doesn't work on most tank heroes. Certainly not on either. Does end up going down. This is not the certified official tank Uther build that Justin approved, by the way. Holy Shocky is the pickup level 4 for that build. Cattle going for the movement speed on stun instead. Gives him a little bit more ability in fights. Not a bad talent for tank Uther by any means. It does help you get into these aggressive positions, and it can help you keep up with Kerrigan and even give you mobility in lane if you like stun a minion or something of that nature. EDC not doing... EDC's doing actually pretty good in his scope. 8 so far in the early game. He is level 7 now, so he does have Pinball Wizard. I'm actually very surprised that's not Echo Pedal. Echo Pedal is the talent you kind of need to be A, safe, and B, efficient in the offlane. You will never quite actually beat the Dahaka in lane without Echo Pedal, even though you can tie him. And we're going to see a huge rotation onto Glaurung here. Glaurung, unfortunately, did not have vision, did not necessarily know where they were. He is going to be fine, though. The rotation from the team did get there in time. Cattle being super aggressive with the warding here. And again, you wouldn't necessarily think this is okay, but in Uther's case, it does work fine. Fan actually not hitting that combo, but maybe Deckard Root for the peel comes through, and 619 is going to be in a little bit of trouble. Does get out. Lokhtar gets the through slide and does not quite manage, but the Dragon Knight actually both points getting picked up. Glaurung burrs in. This is going to be a full-on 5v5. Huge roots coming down from June. Literally took that level 4 talent that makes them bigger. And the Unstoppable coming down onto Fan. Fan is in a lot of trouble. Goes down to the chase. Cattle as well, getting low, is forced to back off. And Glaurung is just waddling away. He is out. Vin is out as well. Need to keep an eye on that objective. BTG actually going to get 10 first here, which unusual under the circumstances. Tempo is normally a team that literally is ahead in tempo on Dragonshire. They live up to their name on the map in the early game because they have that clean early game. We talked about that in the draft. And they're going to have to play conservatively here for a second. They will have to give this Dragon Knight. It looks like Glau does not have vision, so he can't step onto that point bottom. And Junkrat getting the Dragon Knight, that I guess I'm okay with that. I kind of wanted that to be not Junkrat, but ETC couldn't get in yet. So there's going to be Stage Dive, Lightning Breath, Riptire, Banshees, and Stay a While and Listen. Again, surprised to Stay a While and Listen with Lightning Breath over APOC. They don't really have great synergy for it, so this means Stay a While is exclusively going to be a peeling heroic or a split fight heroic that's not reliable, the same way VP is. Nice cleanse. Beautiful Divine Shield as well. Fan is going to get to build up huge shields with Maelstrom here. We're going to see the Stage Dive into the backline, splitting fights. Vayne is extremely low, but not quite enough to finish him off. And are they going to get this fort is the real question. Cattle using the movement speed from that level 4 to get away. He's going to be fine. Love seeing that. Love it, love it, love it. And getting a fort and a wall off the first Dragon Knight, pretty good. BTG now ahead in structures by a good margin. Didn't, again, they're ahead by the least important fort when it comes down to it. You very rarely see games end mid or top on Dragonshire in professional play. In fact, I think there's only been one game in HGC specifically that has been ended top on Dragonshire. So it just doesn't normally happen because it's very dangerous to do. Securing those forts is good for helping secure later objectives, but it's not good for actually securing the game. You kind of need to secure a bottom fort. But they're well on their way to doing that, and they're still early days yet. We're just now entering the mid-game. They're going to start thinking about actually opening up a keep wall and a keep going into the 13-16 territory. Meanwhile, ETC going back to the top lane. Looks like they already cleared mid, and they're going to be able to get the advantage on the bottom bruisers here. Stage Dive will be up in 2. They are literally right now out-tempoing tempo. This is tempo strat. This is the way tempo plays the map in terms of getting a dominant lead and then just getting these camps and shoving bottom. We're going to get the clear here. The assumption, I'm actually surprised BTG's not being more aggressive. They see Uther in lane, I think, and they saw that camp being capped, but they're just wandering around at this point. They're getting more soak. It's not bad to back up and get the soak. I'm just surprised that they had that advantage in lane and didn't actually do anything with it. They're now letting tempo clear their hard work basically for free. They will have to help ETC clear top, so that is a consideration. But that strikes me as playing not to lose as opposed to playing to win, and there's a significant difference. I'm out of water. Unfortunate for a caster to run out of water. Ooh. Tempo doing nutty things here. They're like, well, you're going to go top. Like, you're obviously not bottom. They finish off that bottom keep tower. That gives them a little bit of a boost in experience. Shoves the lane out. Shoving lanes, always beneficial for experience, but also just for vision. So, oh, Diablo went onto the Kerrigan baby? Nah, Fan's going to be able to get out of here. He can Q to the wall. 100% safe. Peeling root from June just to make sure that nothing else can happen. No shenanigans. No one's going to be able to catch up to Fan. BTG just still, they got the bruiser camp. They're shoving top. Or at least ETC will be able to secure top. Not sitting in the bottom. Tempo Storm, huge rotation. And this is one of the best ways in the entire game of dealing with global heroes. Don't let them global down to your 4-man. Just go up and try to fight them. Also going to just clear. This also allows them to secure a top point. And if the enemy team puts you in this position where you have to collapse as 5, collapse on 5, control 1 point, clear,
the camp, clear a lane, and then move back down. Junkrat checking there. We do see making sure the bushes are safe. BTG, credit to them, has been really good about vision this game. So far, they haven't let themselves be flanked. They haven't gotten too far out. They've reacted poorly to some things, but not because of a lack of vision. It's just a lack of experience with certain styles of play, it seems like. And they are learning extremely quickly. Curse Bullet out for essentially the poke on the Diablo. It does do some damage, very short cooldown, not unworthwhile. Dahaka's dueling ETC top actually hits the isolation. Dahaka does not win that fight if it's played correctly. So we'd have to see how DC's doing. Raynor ends up going down, and the Divine Shield turns out, or the backline turns out Divine Shield is a really good way to melt people. You can't stop them. LOK safe in the bush below for now. Barely managed to get away, but the fight continues. The stage dive was late for the engage. The CC chain is a real thing. Lock Tower getting the slide out. Diablo just trying to brawl 1v5, but that's not a way to live, unfortunately. And he will end up going down. Does have soul, so he will reset, but there should be a Dragon Knight for Tempo Storm. And Tempo Storm, not only should this be a Dragon Knight for them, but it should be a Dragon Knight with a double siege camp pushed. Actually, LOK backed. Ripper aired his way top and denied the Dragon Knight. Tempo being a little bit greedy, going for the double siege, not sending someone to guard cattle so that he could safely secure the Dragon Knight. And BTG has reset. They have reset the map. They are again in a favorable position to potentially force. They have 30 seconds on Dragon Breath, so they are going to need to wait a little tiny bit. They want to have their full heroic complement set up. Also, they want Junkrat to be back with the 4-man. They want ETC to have stage dive available. Sitting in a bush, making sure that that rotation can't happen. Are we going to see a commitment by top or Tempo to top here? We are. Even though they don't have any sort of camp or anything pushing, they still have a gray main. And Tempo's like, fine, let's go. We push faster than you do. And they're going to prove it. Bottom is going to get pushed in by Raynor, Diablo, Deckard, Junkrat. Hello? It looks like they're moving back and forth on the map. They're maneuvering, but they're not actually doing anything. Whereas Tempo is committed. They are 5-man committed. Junkrat's poking with grenades. That's going to deter Tempo a little bit, but not enough. And Fort ends up going down. Whereas bottom Fort, still alive and well. It's going to die in a second here. Did take a second. BTG does not get 16 first. They are now behind in experience. We're going to switch over to the experience tab here. Show you guys this. BTG actually ahead in minion soak. It's really the disadvantaged hero kills that Tempo Storm got. The mistakes that BTG made engaging into particular heroics is essentially what allowed Tempo Storm to be on this footing that they are on right now. BTG got ahead in structures, and then Tempo got back up purely on kills and remembering their game plan. Their game plan is macro. And again, I'm surprised at that level 1 Kerrigan pick, just because I feel like they needed the wave clear from the Kerrigan for this comp to work, and that is not the wave clear talent. Bottom top pressure from the Stolen Bruisers coming in. Not too much pressure though, because it's not pushing with a minion wave. Generally, if you want maximum pressure from the camp, it has to be synced up with a minion wave. Obviously, ETC would have had to clear the minion wave, and they would have had to hold the cap. And being on the enemy side of the map for that long was a risk. So they just decided to steal. They can now, however... Oh, Isolation actually coming out. We're going to see the silence. Is that going to be enough? Diablo may not be able to live through this, and he will not be able to live through this. He stay a while and listen coming out, but not enough to save him. 365, he does end up going down. He pops Ancient Blessings, the Divine Shield, onto Fan. Fan has no threat whatsoever onto him, and he does not manage to secure that kill, but it was extremely close. Can they get it? Glowering is going to back and go top. Does not get interrupted on his back by those Junkrat grenades being thrown into the bush. Momentary mistakes. A little bit too large a spacing. A little bit too far away from your support. Able to get isolated by a raw... Get hit, you're stuck in a position where you get hit by a raw isolation on Dahaka. Small mistakes. All it takes is small mistakes at this level of play, and you can immediately get picked off. I'm not sure if proxying the wave with the Banshee there was worth it. He was essentially letting the Banshee tank the wave so that the wave would stay pushed out a little bit further and not be on their towers. It seems a little bit risky to do when they could have let the wave come in. Looks like it's going to be a full 5v fight over mid. Only 34 souls on Diablo, so he's not as tanky as you might expect. Cattle actually going for the stun disengage. Glowering lands a beautiful drag. Unfortunately, no one has the cooldowns or the positioning to feel like they can follow up. But that's okay. Tempo can disengage here. Even though they do have double support, even though they do or should win team fights just because double support is strongest in team fights out of everything, they can afford to be conservative. They don't have to take that risk. And currently they are slightly in the experience lead. They can pull around the map. Tempo disengaging there is essentially saying we're the better team. We're going to make fewer mistakes, and therefore we can afford to pull you around the map, let you get yourselves out of position like you just did with that Diablo kill, and keep going. And they're just pressuring. BTG shows, Tempo is hiding, BTG shows, and as soon as BTG shows, Tempo's like, let's go. That's fine. And then as soon as they stop showing, Tempo leaves. But now they've pulled them all to the same location on the map. And the assumption there is always going to be BTG's coming. Glaurung started that rotation top, but Glaurung has the global on that Dahaka. BTG, look at how afraid 619 is that they're going to be at the Dragon Knight. And he's just running towards the cap. But not going to be able to get it. Locktar actually gets CC comboed, and the blow up is real. Oh, the Greymane, it feels so good to have a Greymane on your team in a CC chain. You just get the instant super deletion. And can they end? This is the question. Tempo Storm is going to head bot. Their minimum goal here is the keep. They will have to slow siege this. They didn't push up the minion wave. I'm actually a little bit concerned. You can see Fan is splitting off. I love this. They're going to tank this minion wave. They're going to get poke damage onto the towers, but they're not going to hard siege this until their minion wave gets here. Fan's clearing the enemy team's minion wave, so their minion wave will push up. Could have done that faster with a different level 1 talent. Yes, I'm still harping on it because it bothers me when people don't clear waves or take talents that allow you to clear waves. Definitely going to get the keep here. There's no way that this Dragon Knight does not allow them to secure keep. It is at 53%, and the keep is at less than half. The real question is, do they back up and play for 20, or do they try to core? With this trickle experience, they're about a minion wave away. Minion wave is going to spawn in about 10 seconds, I think. So trickle experience coming in a little bit at a time. Trickle, 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 trickle. They just want 20 so bad. They want 20 so bad they can taste it. They're actually sending people mid. This Dragon Knight will expire before they can potentially go core with it now. God, if they made a better read on that in terms of experience, if they'd had someone go soak 1 mid wave, they could have actually pushed that bottom, pushed with core with Dragon Knight at 50% at level 20. That would have been such an advantageous position to be in. They're setting up for this push. It doesn't look like bruisers are available. Bruisers are available. Excuse me. So now they're setting up. Are siege available? Is anything else available? Are they going to be able to get it? It looks like it's just bruisers for now. Curious what the timing is on that siege. Given the fact that Vin moved away from it, I'm going to say that siege is not going to be available just yet. Dahaka pushing out that top lane, that's not so much about experience. It's more about vision. Oh, and they're actually waiting. They finished bruisers, and now they're going to go get siege. So siege was going to be up soon, and they're just waiting for it. This is the death push. This is the thing that Tempo Storm is literally famous for on the map. And they're even invading the siege here. Kerrigan with the cap on the bottom. Oh, wow. And because they're not going to... keep an eye on this. They're not going to clear the next wave immediately until after they get this Siege Giant camp coming out. They're going to wait a little bit so that everything sort of syncs up together. As I say that, they're disappointing me to clear. They should not be clearing this wave. They want to wait. They want to wait so that they have the full Merc camp pressure all coming in at the same time. Doesn't look like it's going to matter. Too much beautiful drag, and that's the ball game. There's no way Diablo lives. What? Double jump from Fan. Nicely done. He almost lived for a second there. Junkrat going to be able to do a significant amount of damage, but it's not enough to clear all of these mercs, especially with that mage up, giving everything that huge amount of spell armor. BTG 365 trying to get to stay a while and listen, trying to slow down the push, maybe look for a kill. Do something, but Locktar jumping in. Malfurion Roots are sort of one of the hard counters to stage dive if they're available, so he almost ends up going down there, but unfortunately the burst was still just a little bit on cooldown. Fan getting hit by mid-keep does not want to do that. Steps back in. Locktar trying to push him into that position. Almost gets it, and that'll be game 1 going over to Tempo Storm in Tempo Storm versus BTG. Dragonshire is still a Tempo special.
gonna load into the next game, pause it, and then check out the draft on Master League, talk about it. I think we kind of got a system going now, finally. So show results. Go to game 2. Tempo Storm versus Beyond the Game. Game 2 of the group stages of HGC Finals 2018. This is a comp, guys. This is a comp. What do you say about this draft other than the NA meta is strong in this team? Beyond the Game doing a very Korean sort of inspired draft, except Korea doesn't really play a lot of Alexstrasza. They first pick the Diablo Alexstrasza together. They go for the heavy health pools. They go for the Alarak, who actually is a very high health pool. We actually talked today about why I think Alarak is good on Volskaya if you're good at him. And he's not as much of a liability as you would think, but very mechanically intensive. You got to be constantly stacking E's all game. The counterplay to Alarak is quite difficult because the way you have to position requires particular spacing. You have to be very responsive to the way the Alarak is positioned at all times. And if you're out of position and you're a squishy hero, you're dead. You're just dead. Alex is the same thing. Alex does see more play in China than in most other regions. But I just don't know if it's good. Tempo Storm going with the double support. Junkrat has enough wave clear for their entire comp, essentially. Mathé will be able to do camps. Anyone can anchor a lane. So they're going to be okay on rotations. They're going to be okay on poke. And certainly with double support, poke is going to be an important thing. I'm a little bit concerned that they don't have enough armor stacking with just the Uther. Right? If someone gets Alarak comboed and they're a fragile hero, they are going to get Li Ming comboed and die. But Beyond the Game hasn't demonstrated that level of synergy so far in any of the games that I've watched from them, which makes it less threatening. If in theory, Gen G levels of execution, one comp can one-shot a hero from another comp if they make a single misplay, it's very scary. But if in practice the team you're up against has never done it, it gets less scary. It's just sort of the reality of the situation. I will say that Junkrat into Alexstrasza is very unfavorable for the Alexstrasza because you can just save Junkrat's concussive grenade for Alexstrasza Ws and you never get the massive throughput sustain on these large health pools that you're actually expecting. It forces the Alexstrasza to play very conservatively with where she puts her Ws, only using them as backline heals, essentially. That said, Beyond the Game has the ability to one-shot with Li Ming, and they have a lot of setup for the one-shot. This is a very good map. For the brawly, team-fight-oriented heroes, and Diablo and Alarak certainly fit into those categories, as does Li Ming. These are not macro heroes. These are not heroes where you get ahead by soaking. These are heroes where pick them on a map where you can get ahead by winning a fight and then go fight. My major concern is that Tempo has some of the best macro on Volskaya, and on Volskaya it's not just about clearing waves, it's about the item camps. And consistently when I watch China, they don't macro Volskaya correctly. So we'll see how it goes for them. On the left-hand side of the map, game 2, we do have BTG 619 on Diablo, Dancing on Li Ming, LLK on Alarak, 365 on Alexstrasza, and Locktar on Blaze. Does Blaze look particularly... I think Blaze looks cool on the Angry Cloud. Is that just me? On the right-hand side of the map, we do have Tempo Storm, Cattle once again on Tank Uther, June on Durand, Vin on Junkrat, Fan on his Vala, and Glaurung on Mathael. Glaurung, one of the few players that still consistently plays Mathael as an offlane in HGC, or at all, I should say, in HGC. We're actually going to see W build Alexstrasza. So this is going to be the Globe build coming through, and Devil's Due, or not Devil's Due, on Diablo. Normally, that's very odd to me. If I was going to go... If I knew my Alexstrasza was going full W build on Alexstrasza, giving me that globe every 15 seconds from W, I would 100% have Devil's Due as my pickup. Nice wall stun here. Beautiful follow-up, but double support is a thing, and Fan is going to be just fine. Even if you get comboed by a Diablo and a Blaze and a Li Ming and you're a Vala with double support, you can still live a good portion of the time. We're going to see a slight adaptation in the build. Cattle going for a more sustain-oriented build with a W talent at level 1. I think that's a really interesting decision, and we'll give him slightly better mana sustain. It's more likely a quest to finish going into the first objective. Wow. Tempo Storm is very slow on this rotation. We do see Mathael is hard bullying Blaze in that bottom lane. Normally that only starts to happen from level 4 onwards, but Glowring's doing... Look at Locktar's health. Glowring is hard bullying this Blaze. You're going to have to watch that on Going Alone, because that should not happen. Whew. Alarak at 1 stack so far. Unfortunately, this is not what you want to be at. We are seeing both teams get their turrets at roughly the same time. I'm actually a little bit surprised at Tempo. From where Tempo normally does this, they are late. Normally they leave an anchor and go mid and clear and snap and get this right at the 1 minute mark, but they are significantly late. Nice Owl from Tehran checking out to see if the support camp is being taken. That's one of those map awareness things. Certain Tehran players are much better than others. June is one of the better ones. His Owls are usually on point. Really good at finding people, or finding where people are... Finding the least likely location people are not is also a way of putting it, and then reasoning from that negative information if they happen not to be there. Something teams have to do a lot of when you start to learn to play around vision. It has to become instinctive. It has to become a reflex so you can instantly react to that information. And top teams in the world, we're going to see a whole lot of it the next couple weeks. And it's very exciting to have these teams playing against each other, because all the teams at this level that will go into the top 8 of BlizzCon have this skill set, or they wouldn't be able to make it there. Glaurung, again with the bully, is going to be the one to get on the point. Are they actually rotating the support camp? Oh, are they doing it? Are they doing it? No. Glaurung's actually going to go for the double soak. This is something that I've been a huge advocate of for a long time. If you have a double soaking off lane, put your double soaking off lane mid-top during the objective phase and have your 4-man stand on the point and split one person off to body soak bottom mounted. They can get back instantly by riding the conveyor belt, right? So they're actually, in terms of travel time, it's like they're standing directly adjacent to the point, but they're still not missing soak, whereas your offlane can double soak very, very efficiently. Tehran with the peeling stun. Very good peeling stun so far. Turret actually having to come out there as well. That's kind of a win in some ways for BTG, that they force Tempo to use their turret, and Tempo is not actually established control of the objective point. Cattle's doing the classic annoying tank thing. This is why Garrosh is popular on this map, by the way, if anyone's curious, because people do this. They just hover around the edge of the point, not letting you have control of it. Ooh, again, the wall stun, but Glowring's like, whatever. Notice that Glowring went to the right there, or excuse me, went to the left there. It's because he can W behind the Diablo if he needs to, whereas if he went away, Diablo would have a strong incentive to overpower him back in. So using Mathael specific movements and positioning to try to befuddle and outplay the opponent. Really important that you play each hero individually optimally, which is why pro players tend to stick to a very small hero pool. It's very hard to be good at every single hero at the same level. Which is why I always say that there's a lot of heroes that are viable in Heroes of the Storm. Pros just don't play them because they don't necessarily know how to play them, and they don't have that time in to see when they're good and when they're not. And it's very difficult to maintain a broad hero pool. To a high level play. Fan, again, getting comboed, but gonna get peeled for. I actually didn't acknowledge how good Junkrat's concussive mine is as peel going into this draft, but Fan can actually play as almost aggressively as he wants to, not only because of the double support, but because Junkrat actually has some of the best peel in the entire game of any hero. Ooh. Ooh. Wasting the Alexstrasza W. I think that one actually went off, but that's the general idea that they're going for with the Junkrat, and with the Dragon being used there, they're going to be able to bully Tempo Storm off. BTG actually will get the first objective here. That should be expected, to be honest. The first objective, as a rule of thumb, goes just on Infernal Shrines. If you're an Alexstrasza, you usually have a heroic to no heroics, which is always a cooldown advantage. BTG being super greedy here. They actually proc the support camp before they picked up, and now they're going to get the support camp. They're going to get that experience. They have that. Diablo is hopefully going to get... Hello? Wow. Okay. I do not like the fact that they did not put their tank in there for the siege pressure and instead put in their Li Ming. Obviously, Li Ming has more siege damage than
Diablo does, and like Diablo's clearing a wave right now. Li Ming could be clearing that wave way faster. I don't know about this decision making, and now they're wasting the protector. No, BTG, why? Why? Oof. As I say that, however, Fan ends up getting super deleted, but LLK gets counter killed. It's very rare to see teams killing people during the protector phase, or getting killed during the protector phase, I should say. And again, these Junkrat traps are so annoying. Absolutely every time. They're just there, and they're so frustrating. BTG achieved limited success there. They got the wall, and they got the fountain, which was their tactical objective, so you can't say they didn't get it, but they didn't really want to give up a comeback mechanic kill in the process. Vala did end up going down. And Tempo immediately reestablishing, going straight to the turret camp. I think this is only the second turret camp taken for each team. Normally during the first objective it gets delayed long enough that both teams can get a turret before and during the objective, but the first turrets were delayed so long by both teams, and then the second turret, the objective happened so fast that no time for the second turret happened, I believe. So this is going to be the second turret for each team. BTG still at an item advantage with a turret and a support camp versus just a turret coming out of Tempo Storm. And surprisingly, despite everything, Tempo staying relatively even in experience. They're not on a bad experience interval. They should be able to get their team before the next protector spawns. It is going to be relatively close. They may need to get another turret. They may need to have that timing work out for them. But regardless, they should be able to, even if they can't get it right away, should be able to get it before the objective gets fully captured by BTG. They should be able to even talent your fight. Ooh. Been taking quite a bit of poke damage there. Does not have a fountain to go back and tap to. Cattle can go up, give him 1Q, and heal him to full, though, because Junkrat has no health. Oh my god, look at that. There's advantages and disadvantages to having no health. A, you can die instantly, but B, one heal from any healer, and you're like, yes, back to full health. Very successful. Massacre picked up at level 7, by the way, for Glaurung. This is a sort of a Glaurung special. No one else goes this talent. Everyone else really questions the value. Oh, huge initiation onto Fan there. Divine Shield is forced out. Instantly pops the Strafe because Strafe is no longer interruptible. Vin comes in. Oh, 619 actually tried to do this is a strategy. Just pop APOC the moment you hear the Riptire from Junkrat, and you essentially trade heroics, but he popped it too late. He popped it when he saw Riptire, not when he heard the sound effect. Does end up going down. That will be a reset on Diablo's Souls. And almost that went favorably for BTJ, but Vin, unfortunately, probably used to getting APOC during his Riptires, immediately pops it as soon as he gets into range. Ooh, Fan, almost the tank in this composition, playing so far forward, so aggressively. I don't think he expected to be comboed in the lane like that, just so far away from a wall. But did end up working out for him. Are we going to see another kill on the Diablo? He literally just died. Come on, 619. Stay alive for a little bit. It was forced him back. Backing is better than dying. And we're even seeing a little bit of a different Alarak build. This is not the rich Alarak build. I'm going to be honest, I don't like this Alarak build as much. I think it's just strictly worse in the way the hero is currently balanced. You need the infinitely stacking E-Quest at 4. You need Applied Force to be more of a team player. You need Counter-Strike so that you can't get engaged upon. You don't need to burn your support's resources to save you. Just across the board, this is not the Alarak build that I prefer to see in competitive play. This is more of a solo carry Alarak build. It's something you do when you can just straight up out-button your opponents and win 1v1s and skirmishes. It's not team fight Alarak. I'm not a fan. Also a little bit surprised to see Disintegrate coming out here for Li Ming. Generally in double support, displacements are heavily valued purely for the displacement, to sort of knock people away from their support so you can get that kill. With these kills, actually, Tempo gets 13 first, even though BTG is going to be on the point, but Tempo's going to be able to bully in here. Actually, as I say that, Tempo's going to be like, no, we have 30 seconds before we need to bully in, because it's 52 seconds for the cap to happen, so we can actually just get bottom fort first, and not fight you. That seems fine. They're going to get keep towers. They're actually going to give the entire objective at this point. which this is a 5-man push. If BTG does not back as 5 to deal with this, they're going to lose their keep potentially, even if they get the Protector. And that's the turret value coming in, the double turret value coming in. Actually, we're supposed to have been dropped earlier because turrets do bonus damage to minions, and it would have helped them clear that wave slightly faster. But Cleansing Flame coming out, going to keep everyone alive for the moment. That was not Dragon Form, Alex draws for Cleansing Flame, so they're not going to have the double W's of Dragon Form. They're not going to get the time extension there. That's not the optimal way to use Cleansing Flame, but she didn't want to use Dragon Form. Camp still pushing top, threatening that keep wall. Tempo Storm just like pulling BTG around the map. This is such a it's funny because it's also kind of mean, but the reality is the situation is if you have a strong understanding of the game, you can pull people around the map and make them play your game. This is basically what Fnatic did for literally all of 2017. Just really smart decision making by a team that didn't care about objectives. They only cared about whether or not they had an advantage or not. It didn't matter where they were. As long as they had an advantage somewhere, they were good. And again, look, they know it's top. They know this is 5v4. They wait for the wave. They're just going to push. They have so much single target damage. That Protector is not guaranteed to secure a keep without a full team pushing with it, whereas this 5-man basically is guaranteed to secure a keep. So they can secure this keep and then just leave. They can just back off and stop the Protector from securing a keep because it will not be pushing with bodies. Honestly, at this point, BTG has been outplayed. There's nothing they can do to recover from this point. Oof. Again, Vin throwing down the rip, detonating the Rip Tire on the mini wave, not wasting the value. Worst case scenario, this ends up being an even trade in experience and structures for Tempo, but they actually, they're going to end up a level ahead overall. They can play for 16 at this point. This is the straight up the win condition of double support in many compositions on many maps. It's just get an experience advantage and run it down bottoms and win with sustain. Because you'll out-sustain them. You will eventually out-sustain them, and all you need is one pick and you win. I'm surprised they're not leaving because they're out of mana. Double support's good until you run out of mana, and then it's not as good. Again, huge combo on Navala. Again, I don't like this Alarak build. I think with Applied Force and his relying on his team, that was actually going to be a kill on Navala, but just by himself, not going to be enough damage. The pressure is on Tempo here because they've committed to this. Oh, nice double combo from LLK in the back, getting the silence. And Cattle, again, with the movement speed on his stun, getting something from the movement speed. They're out of mana, though. Really important to remember. They are out of mana. LLK is super split, though. Ends up going down. You know what would have been good there? Counter-Strike, because he could have Counter-Striked and let his team run to him and save him. But because he had no ability to buy time and he was flanking as an Alarak and not going for a poke stack patient build, he died. Unlucky, really. I like Lauren's decision to just ignore that. It will eventually die to the minion wave that's spawning at base, and he can push up and get the actual soak. It's not like you get minion. It's not like you get experience for killing the merc camps as they push into your base. So Noma's in a relatively even position now. It was just keep for a keep. They have an open win condition. They're in a better position for the next objective, technically, because they have a fountain and a fort to retreat to, and BTG does not. So overall, positional advantage, Tempo is ahead. Item advantage, it is a turret versus nothing. So Tempo's in really good shape. And if they choose to fight over this support camp, they will have the Junkrat mine for point control. And there are no unstoppables on BTG. The only thing they can do is try to dodge it with Bunker. And they don't have any displacements except for Alarak W either. So in terms of that, there's the one. Now, the ideal way to do this is to kill this slow enough that you wait 15 seconds, so Vin has Concussive Mind back up. And then he can W the point twice. Not once, but twice. And at that point, Tempo is guaranteed to win it. And having the support camp will be a huge advantage for them, because support camp is almost equal to a support in team fights, and if you thought having 2 supports was good, 3 supports in a fight, whew, it's quite a bit better. They now have the vision advantage. Actually, they see Locktar bottom. They should force on the support camp. They have the concussive mind advantage now. They're still not doing it. I'm surprised at the hesitation. They're angling, they're posturing, they're looking for they have the wave pushed up. They're looking for a vision advantage kill. They're looking for someone to step up and be out of position. They're not as interested in forcing. Locktar's still bottom. He's still pushing out catapults. Please, Tempo. Okay, they didn't have to wait for Mathael. That's totally fair. He was chunked. Are they going to do it now? Are they going to pull the trigger? They're finally going to pull the trigger now that they're here as 5. They have the warding Junkrat route. That's going to be triggered soon-ish. Someone needs to step on that so that they have more maneuverability. And this should be a boop off the point, maybe? Oh, Riptire was coming out. And BTG actually secures the support camp, and then it looks like they immediately used it. That was a huge misplay by Vin. Oh my god, Vin was the guy who was supposed to secure that point and did not secure the point. He lost sight of his job in the fight. Alarak did end up going down. Locktar will end up going down. So even though they won the fight, they won the war, but Vin got a little trigger-happy on his concussive mind there. He forgot his job. Not going to be happy about that. Going to move around, be able to catch the waves. It does have that pseudo-global. Mathael is on point. 52 seconds to secure it from 100 to, or from 0 to 100. 26 seconds until Li Ming is up. It looks like Tempo pretty much has this protector on lockdown, and I don't see a world where this protector doesn't end, to be honest. So the game is essentially over. It looks like the Tempo is trying to do as much as they can here to secure 20, however. Securing 20 and pushing with the protector is a more likely end than not securing 20 and pushing the protector, so I like the decision a lot. Turret is a big experience boost, actually, and turret is up. They're leaving the point at 63%. They do see the Diablo moving in, playing very conservatively. They can get 20 and secure the protector. That's fine. Oh, they're even backing off of this. Wow. Oh, this is such a hard thing to give because you want the turret. You don't want the BTG to have the turret, but at the same time, you really want to get 20. You don't want to force. Tempo, maintaining discipline, is like, yes, 20, then protector, then game. Order of operations established. Let's go. And they get level 20. They send down the owl. They know that their approach is safe. Cattle on the deep flank here, really far ahead of his team. He has redemption, so it's totally fine. And let the fiesta of the bottom point fight begin. First turret down, second turret down. Alex Ross W in the back. Huge stun going on the back line. 619 tries to go in, gets his overpower messed up by the by the conveyor belt. Glaurung W's to the back of him, gets overpowered anyway. Locktar extremely low, no resets for Ming. Dragon form, Cleansing Flame does come out. Gonna land in the back line, hoping to get a kill assisted help, but the Cattle's the only person they can really get onto. Killing Cattle is not going to do it. That ends up being a 5 for none coming out of Tempo Storm. They don't need the protector to end. They can just go all the way to the open core, end the game. That was an excellent fiesta. I don't think I've ever seen a clean fight. I've seen teams win that were supposed to win on the bottom fight, but once it's actually on that point and the conveyor belts are there, I don't think I've ever seen a clean fight, even in professional play. It's always so wonky and dirty. People getting moved around, stuff missing, bunkers moving. Unlucky, really. It's GG, though. BTG goes down 2-0 to Tempo Storm, the second NA seed.